Hi, I'm Kong. Today I'm going to show you how to do a simple vermicomposting. Okay, to start a simple worm bin, you need to get this box. You can find it everywhere in the market or in the market. Okay. First, then you need a simple tool. That is a chopstick. You just make a holes around here. Make holes here, make a lot of holes along the sides. Okay, that's done. Next one, you may want to choose to make hole below. But the problem with making hole below will be the worms will tend to escape from the hole below. The size of the hole here is not important. It can be very big, it can be very small. If the worms are happy, they will not escape. Okay, once your box is ready, you need to fill up the box with all form of mediums. Right? Get those are easily available. Don't have to spend a cent getting the medium. The common one will be the newspaper. Don't get the color newspaper or the glossy type. Get the normal one. You can shred it. Why you need to shred it? If you don't shred it, let's say you put a whole piece of newspaper, you put underneath, how will the worm be able to move from here, over here, and here? To a problem. Okay? So shred the newspaper. Don't even buy a shredder. When you're watching TV, you just probably just tear it down, right? Just tear. Okay. Next one, you can add cardboard. Cardboard. This cardboard, a normal cardboard. This chunk of cardboard, just throw the cardboard inside. Okay, cardboard inside. Okay, you need to add vegetables, fruits cuttings, add inside. Right? Okay. Eggshell. Eggshell, but in this form will be not very useful. But you must make into a powder form. Grind them in a powder form. Sprinkle eggshell over it. Eggshell is help to help the digestion of the food for worms. Okay. Next one, you are almost ready. What I do is, next thing you need to wet the place, wet the beans, right? But it cannot be too wet until it's flooded, right? Just keep them moist will be okay. Then the next thing you can find your worms. You add your worms. Just add your worms inside. Okay. How high to fill this paper? How high to fill? Do not fill that high. Just keep as low. As long as it's maybe 20 cm will be good enough. If it's too high, when the food when they start eating, then we compress. Then the worms will have difficulty moving point. Keep very low. Right? Okay. Next one is how to feed the worms. Worms are depending on your situation again. If your box is covered or not cover, then you are different method. If your box is not covered, you can just put your food scraps or whatever. It may be vegetables, maybe fruits cutting, but try to avoid excessive citrus fruits. If your box is not covered, then what you put your vegetable scraping on one spot, then you just put a cardboard. You just put over it. The reason you put a cardboard over it is that worms dislike sunlight. If you cover it this way, then the worms will crawl underneath the cardboard and start feeding. Okay. Then if you are the most problem with worms is you have excessive food. You put too much food and the whole thing is covered. When this thing because the worm cannot eat fast enough, when the food decompose, then it will generate heat. And if the thing is covered, and the heat has no way to escape, the worm will escape. However, if you have this method, let's say your cover is this method, then you have no problem with overheating food. You can put a lot of food as possible, then the heat will come up from here. Okay. How do you know when the compost is ready for harvesting? If you look at it, look into the thing, you don't see newspaper, you don't see cardboard, you see only like a coffee ground, then the worm casting is ready for harvest. put a plastic sheet on the table or on the floor, then pour your worms and casting all over it. Okay, imagine you have full sun here. Then what you do is make them as high as possible, like a pyramid top. Okay, so the worms, as I mentioned earlier, worms dislike sunlight. So after a few minutes on the sun, the worms will all go below. What you do is you scoop up the top. Then after you mix them out again, Then after that you leave in the sun again. You go for your Kit Kat break or whatever break you have. Then after that you scoop again. Eventually, the worms will all be below. Worms are unlike ants. When they panic or they stress, they don't move all over the places. They will just cling together like a packet of instant noodles. Okay, the second method is based on the theory, hungry, look for food. Let's say now it's ready. What I do will be, I push all the them to half to one side. So push all the casting to one side. Push one side, okay. Then I will use something, a net or thing to do as a separator. Then I put the food all on this side. I put the food all on this side. Then when the worms are hungry, they know what to do. They will just crawl over from here to this side. But you must be patient in this method because they don't move immediately. You probably take maybe 3 to 4 weeks or even longer. Okay, now where to put this bin. Worms don't like a very hot environment. Worms don't like place to be very wet. So you must put the worm bin in a very sheltered place. And if your place got ants, you need an additional stand, then this part you will fill with oil. Then ants will not able to access your box. Okay? Worms will not sting. It will not attract a lot of flies if you feed them correctly. If you feed them too much, then probably it will sting. So worms you are safe to keep them along the corridor of the HDB. Okay. Why you keep worms? What is in for me? Worms, the casting is well documented. It benefits the soil, it provides nutrients to the plants, and most important is free. And besides getting free nutrients from the worms, you help to divert all this food waste from the incinerator. Please go ahead, start keeping worms from today.